Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, this is gonna be part 5 of E is a big time loser in his own kingdom. And I got a couple of articles that I was gonna go into now. I don't even be looking for this. Like it just pop up because it's all, well, I ain't gonna say all, but most of it is recent news. Cause the Edomite, and especially the Edomite women, they're coming out they're showing who they truly are and what they truly do. This ain't nothing new. It's just this the end of their kingdom and they just spazzing out. But also these are the curses, which I'm gonna go straight into it. So it says brother of Louisiana. Well, first, let me get this one. It says disgraced Louisiana mayor 43 caught being intimate with son's friend 16 at boozy pool party before ordering emergency contraceptive. Now, this is a mayor in Louisiana, the former mayor of Louisiana, 43 years old, caught having sex at a party, at a teenager's party, with her friend's son, a 16-year-old teenager. And as you can see, there go her face. Former Mayor Misty Roberts is accused of raping her son's teenage friend. A Louisiana mayor is accused of having sexual relations with a teenage guest at her then 16-year-old's son's birthday party after providing the partygoers with alcohol. RadarOnline.com can report. Misty Roberts, 43, the former mayor of DeRidder, Louisiana, then allegedly ordered the morning after pill to be delivered to her house via DoorDash. They were having sex. It says Roberts is charged with third-degree rape and contributing to the delinquency of juveniles after the 2024 party for her son, who was celebrating his birthday with friends at their house, swimming and drinking alcohol that his mother allegedly provided. As you can see, and it said 2024, so this was old, But the article was published March 2nd, 2026, 2 p.m. It says the teen told Child Advocacy Center officials that later during the party, his mom and his friend were upstairs alone. They were having sex. The son said, adding that his mother was drunk and did not remember the incident. Robert's nephew, who was also a minor at the time, said he saw his aunt and friend doing stuff on the couch in the game room. For what I gathered, they were effing. He told investigators when asked how he got that impression, since he admitted he couldn't see what Roberts was or wasn't wearing, he said just the motion gave it away. So there's more to it. Now let me jump down. At her ongoing trial, a DoorDash driver testified that he delivered Plan B emergency contraceptive for a customer named Misty, who lives at the address of the former mayor. The driver said he recognized the house because he and his wife take their children trick-or-treating in the neighborhood. When the driver heard about the allegations a few days later, he connected the dots. Let me see. I think that's the end of that. It says days after police launched their investigation into the alleged crime, Roberts, who was in her second term in office, resigned as mayor. So, as you can see, the Edomite women, they got a thing for the YNs, And I'm calling the Edomite men, the Edomite teenagers YNs, not Jake, because, that term has been, coined for Israelite men, young Israelite men. But what about the Edomites? Because it's so many articles coming out about these older married Edomite women having sex with these Edomite teenagers. And I will never forget the one that was 33 years old, got pregnant by a 13-year-old boy. And she was married and already had a child. I won't forget that. But these are the curses, because during the time of captivity, during the time of slavery, what was going on? Esau, Edom, he'll come and take our wives and our daughters and have his way with them. He'll commit adultery with the Israelite man's wife and take it and have his way with their daughters and then send them back. And the Israelite man couldn't do nothing about it. This is what this man was doing for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years this man was doing all this. Really thousands, because it ain't just happening in this modern day American slavery. We done been in captivity under the Greeks, the Romans. This spanned over 2,000 years ago. These Edomites was doing things like this, having their way with our women. And this man has never paid for it. So now these curses are starting to come back on him. Now your women are going to the teenagers, the YNs of your nation, and having their way with them. And then because when we put the Edomites in slavery, we ain't gonna be committing adultery. We gonna be keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. It's gonna be the most hardcore slavery ever, and it's gonna be completely righteous. It's gonna be completely righteous because we gonna be completely righteous. So we ain't gonna do none of the wickedness that they doing, but they still gonna feel every bit of the curses, and they already feeling it now. Like I said, this was somebody's wife and somebody's mother. And now look at her being put in jail. So let's get the next one. It says, brother of Louisiana mayor accused of raping 16-year-old has a hauntingly similar criminal past. Now this was on the 3rd. It says, brother of a disgraced Louisiana mayor who is on trial for allegedly raping her son's friend, a teenage best friend, was also accused of horrific sex crime. Misty Roberts' brother, Brandon Lee Roberts, 40, admitted in November to raping a teen girl and a young woman over the course of several years. The guilty plea landed him a prison sentence of 32 years behind bars. So that's the picture of the Edomite, her brother, and then that's her. It runs in the family. The abuse began when one of the victims was as young as 13. So they have a knack for children, or they have a knack for young adults. Being a teenager, you can still consider, they young adults. But Edomites, they have a knack for that. So he was arrested in October 2024, just 2 months after his 43-year-old big sis was arrested for allegedly getting hot and heavy with her son's unwittingly 16-year-old friend during a drunken party at their home. Misty, mayor of the tiny western Louisiana town of DeRidder, was allegedly caught in a vile trice by her own kids, who were appalled by her behavior and refused to follow her orders to lie till you die. Damn, lie till you die about her alleged behavior, according to testimony in court. She told her son to lie till he died. And this is what Edomites do. Ain't that what the scriptures say? I didn't even know about this. See, I just found this article right before I started this video, so I didn't even know that I haven't even read this one yet. Damn it. Hold on. Trying to get the scripture real quick. This is John 8:44 in the AMP. You are of your father the devil, And this is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. It was talking to the leaders, the Pharisees and Sadducees. It's Yahweh Shah speaking to the Pharisees and Sadducees, the leaders, saying that they just like the Edomites, because he's calling the Edomites the devil. You are of your father, the devil, and it is your will to practice the desires which are characteristics of your father. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand. Who was the first murderer? Cain. And Cain has the same spirit of the Edomites, had the same spirit of had the same spirit of the Edomites. That's how we know who they are and who he was, coming back in the reincarnation as Esau. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks what is natural to him, for he is a liar and the father of lies and half-truths. So is that not what she was telling her kids? Lie till you die. Don't tell nobody, And they said they couldn't do it. Well, yeah, her kids and her nephew like, nah, we can't do that, And then, the relationship between her son and his best friend was definitely on a whole other level. They can't be friends no more. Knowing that he smashed his mama. No, they took the yo mama jokes to a whole nother level. And this is what's been going on. I got more articles of these Edomite women, having sex with these YNs, Esau, the Edomite YNs, the EYN. It says the mayor, who was divorced at the time of the alleged assault, so she was divorced, resigned her post after the incident, which left the alleged victim feeling disgusted and humiliated. His mother testified Monday. It all went down at a drunken pool party at Misty's house in July 2024, where she allegedly became severely drunk and then threw herself at the boy. She then allegedly tried to cover the whole thing up and told friends not to talk about it. A series of text messages showed while the boy's mother asked her to take a morning after pill to ensure she wouldn't become pregnant. Misty is currently standing trial for carnal knowledge and indecent behavior with a juvenile and pleaded not guilty. So that's just one. Let's get the next one. It says married teachers twisted 7 words as she began affair with student. And wait for it to load back up. I don't know why it even did that in the first place. Now I don't want to load. There it is. Married teachers twisted 7 words as she began an affair with student. A Rhode Island high school graduate accused a former 39-year-old teacher of sexual harassment while he was a minor. She was charged with sexual assault. So it says a former Rhode Island gym teacher accused of sexually harassing a student allegedly said she can't believe I'm going to do this before grabbing the minor's face and kissing him for nearly 15 minutes. Last fall, a recent graduate of Pontiac High School filed a formal sexual harassment complaint with the Rhode Island State Police against 39-year-old gym teacher Alicia Cryans. According to the affidavit obtained WPRI. Last week, a grand jury indicted her on two counts of third-degree sexual assault, the Rhode Island Attorney General Office announced. The student, who graduated in the spring, alleged that Cryans, who resigned from her job, obtained his personal cell phone, sexted the minor, and initiated sexual contact with him between April 1st, 2024 and June 30th, 2024. So it's the same year that the mayor went down too. Same year. Same damn year. The affidavit alleges that the relationship began when the student was a sophomore and carried on through his junior year. During the time, the two continued communication via text message and through social media. The student claimed that the teacher would often text him telling him that he looked good. According to the affidavit, she also allegedly would repeatedly ask to wear his sweatshirts and once asked to wear his sports jersey during a high school pep rally. He told police that the relationship changed after she allegedly made an inappropriate request and proceeded to ask him for a kiss on her birthday. During the incident, the student said he drove to her house in Cranston, parking on the side of the street, on a side street where she approached him. She allegedly told him, "I can't believe I'm going to do this. You can't tell anybody," before proceeded to grab his face and kissing him for 15 minutes. It says, weeks later, she allegedly invited him to her residence and had a similar encounter during which they kissed inside his vehicle outside of her home. However, during the incident, the sexual encounter escalated after she got on top of him in the back seat and initiated sexual contact. The affidavit said he denied having sexual intercourse. So anyways, these Edomites, they going outside. And like I said, when I was seeing all this, let me get a couple scriptures. When I was seeing all this, let me see, what is it? When I was seeing all this, I was laughing. You know, not laughing at what, the wickedness that was going on, but laughing at the fact that these Edomites are going outside. This is the end of their kingdom, and they're going outside, and it's a beautiful thing to see the fall of your enemies. See them go through, they starting to go through the hell. It's just small increments. This ain't nowhere near compared to what they about to experience. But they just starting to experience hell and go through these curses and all the stuff that they was doing unto us. The Lord is doing it unto them. We not even putting them in the situations where they can experience hell. They putting themselves into it. But ultimately, it's the Lord doing it. So this is Job 22. Now I'm gonna start up a couple verses. We start at 15. It says, "Hast thou marked the old way which the wicked men have trodden, which were cut down out of time, whose foundation was overflown with a flood, which said unto the Most High, Depart from us, and what can the Almighty do for them?" And this is how this is how the wicked feel. This is how Esau Edom feel. We don't want nothing to do with the Most High. He ain't got nothing for us. He can't do nothing for us. We better than him. That's how Esau think. That's how they feel. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. "Yet he filled their houses with good things, but the counsel of the wicked is far from me." It says, "The righteous see it and are glad, and the innocent laugh them to scorn. Whereas our substance is not cut down, but the remnant of them the fire consumeth." Now I'm gonna read this in the AMP starting at verse 18. Well, starting at 17, it says, "They said to the Most High, Depart from us. What can the Almighty do for us or to us? Yet he filled their houses with good things, but the counsel of the wicked and the ungodly is far from me. The righteous see it and are glad, and the innocent mock and laugh at them, saying, Surely our adversaries are cut off and destroyed, and fire has consumed their abundance." So what a time to be allowed to see the downfall of your enemy. And like I said, we laugh at them. When I see some of these articles pop up, I shake my head, shake my head. But some of this stuff, I'm gonna laugh at it. And I got a couple articles where the Edomites, they done some horrendous crime, and then when you look at their mugshot, they laughing, they laughing, And if they smile, I laugh, So we laughing at them, cause it's honestly a shame. Like I said, not laughing at the wickedness they doing, but just laughing at the fact that they fallen. Now this is Sirach chapter 25 and verse 7. "There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy." This is a joy. This is a blessing to see the fall of all those that tribulated and caused trouble to us, which they just, let me see if I can find it. Right, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 5. I'm gonna read 5 and 6. First in the KJV, then in the AMP. It says, which is the manifest token of the righteous judgment of the Most High, that ye may be counted worthy of the kingdom of the Most High, for which ye also suffer. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. And this is what the Lord is doing. He's recompensing tribulation to the ones that has troubled us. And this is only the beginning. It's gonna get worse and worse for them. It ain't getting no better for Edomites no more. Their time of having their way on earth has come to an end. Now everything is on a decline. It's on a rapid decline until they be taken out of the earth. Verse 5 in the AMP. This is the positive proof of the righteous judgment of the Most High, a sign of his fair verdict, so that you will be considered worthy of his kingdom, for which indeed you are suffering. For after all, it is only just for the Most High to repay with distress those who distress you. Lord said, vengeance is his, vengeance is mine. So the Lord is the one that's going to, when I get there too. I'm going to read Isaiah 59 and 18, then I'm going to get to Romans 12 and 19. It's Isaiah 59 and 18. According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay. Fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense. Romans 12 and 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. And this is what the Lord is doing. He's repaying these heathens. So now they're starting to go through everything that they put our people through. And just off of this, these Edomite women, they, like I said, married teacher, they all of them have been married. Even the one that's divorced, that still don't make sense. You was once married, you had children, you out here sleeping with your son's best friend. They both teenagers. You sleeping with your son's best friend and you the mayor. And he underage. In your kingdom, he underage. And then you get caught. That's what these Edomite, and now he gotta live with that. He gotta live with the fact that not only his mama got arrested, but his best friend smashed his mama. He has to live with that. But again, what did these Edomites do to our people? The master, he'll have his way with our wives, with our daughters. He'll sell our daughters off and our wives off to another plantation, to another Edomite, and they'll have their way with our family, Or he'll give it to his son, and his son will have their way with our family, And we couldn't do nothing about it. So now these curses are starting to come on Edomites. Let's go to the next one. Woman 61, that's the woman too. Woman 61 who fell in love with Egyptian toy boy, left in debt after calling off engagement. He proposed the second time they met. A 61-year-old woman who said she fell in love with a 26-year-old Egyptian toy boy called off the relationship after bringing up that she'd spent thousands of pounds on him. She spent money on this man. Jacqueline Dube met her former fiance on TikTok and says they spoke every day despite being 35 years apart in age and 2,500 miles apart in distance. They spoke for 16 months before she flew to meet him and she said they told each other they were in love. When she made a second trip, he proposed, but while they were planning a wedding, she started getting doubts and called it off. When Jacqueline realized she spent, I forget what money unit that is. I'm not sure if that's euros or not. I think that's euros, 4,000 euros if I'm not mistaken. On the much younger man, she started regretting the relationship, and when she brought up the money she was spending on him, things fell apart. She said she's now sees what people warned me about, and that she been left in debt over the whole thing. Said Jacqueline Dude was approached by an Egyptian man on TikTok 35 years younger than her. I thought he saw me for who I was. He told me he loved me, so he loved me to the moon and back. He made me feel special and wanted. Now I know I don't have what I thought I had, Jacqueline said. I asked myself, why did I do this? You can't help who you love, but I blame myself. I should have never got on that plane. The 61-year-old explained she'd been on TikTok live with her niece when the man joined the group call and told her she was beautiful, with her thinking it was harmless to swap numbers with the guy and keep talk on WhatsApp. After just a few messages, he told her he liked older women. So I don't know if this is an Israelite or if this really, one of those Hamites. It just said Egyptian man, and then they show a picture, but they blurred his face out. But it don't even matter. She got played. It was an Edomite woman who got played. It says in September 2025, she booked a flight to visit him and his family for 8 days in Egypt. She said, I would smell his smell. Sometimes we'd lie together hugging. We listened to music together. I started to get closer to him. The kissing got better and the sex got better. Everyone from his family traveled from afar to meet me. She and the family went for meals and boat trips, with her offering to pay for many of the experiences. And while she initially thought, what have I done? She said they got closer over time. He would always tell me, I love you, I adore you, and swear to which they call Allah, that's not his name, that he loved me. She said, I don't know why I keep doing that. And just about every picture except for that one, she got her looking depressed, as you can see. When she realized how much money she spent, she started getting doubts about the relationship and said she's now in debt from the experience. She's 61 years old in debt. Now she's gonna have to work and work hard. It says when she returned to the UK, she realized she spent 4,000 euros on this man, and his family and the relationship went awry when she brought up the financial concerns, which resulted in her thinking it wasn't going to work out. And Jacqueline said she still cries, thinking I'll never see him again, but wouldn't go back to him if she had the chance. She said, I'm in debt. I've not been able to pay my bills. I developed some sort of weird attachment to him after being on my own for 10 years. She said, I wanted to prove to people that they were wrong about us and about him. When people told me not to go and see him, I didn't listen. Now I see what people warn me about. When approached for the comment, the Egyptian man said, this woman is crazy. So he said, this woman is crazy. So she got played out of money. And now she's in debt alone and have to figure life out alone, But the Israelites been experiencing this, especially our women, Especially our women. Now, to be fair, Esau taught our women all these different philosophies and doctrines and indoctrinated them and destroyed the mindset of our women. And now look at his women, She got played by a toy boy, 26-year-old, and she's 61, and was told not to do it and didn't listen. So, hey, it is what it is. Now, this one, it says wife, which I'm not going to read the whole article. It says wife who told husband to wear revolver for a night out because it went well with his outfit ends up dead on the floor while holding their baby. It says a 21-year-old man in Indiana is accused of killing his wife and seriously injuring the couple's newborn baby after he allegedly shot the 21-year-old woman and then claimed the wound was self-inflicted. So these Edomites, they going out sad, they going out sad. And like I always be saying, man, when these Edomite women marry a Edomite man, they putting their life in danger. Because, I ain't read the article, and, honestly, I'm not going to go into it. But when they give it the Edomite men, it don't turn out well. In the long run, it usually don't turn out well for them. And they get taken out like it ain't nothing. That's why a lot of Edomite women, they don't want their men either. Because they really afraid of them. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of Edomite women, they really afraid of their men because of situations like this. And you don't see this happen among Jake communities. Now, it is happening. A lot of women, so-called black women aren't, or just women of the tribes, but especially the so-called black women, they are getting put to death. But that's because the times have changed. But this has been a universal thing for Esau. Esau has been doing this all throughout time. This ain't nothing new for him. This is a behavior thing. When you hear about, if you was just to hear at work somebody talking about, yeah, man killed his wife, or murdered his wife, you're not gonna think about a so-called black man and a black woman off the rip. The first thing, or at least one of the first categories or options you're gonna think is a Edomite, because that's a part of what things they do. Now this this is one of the ones I was talking about. It says, oh my gosh, grandma delivers eerie mugshot after toddler drinks from meth-laced sippy cup. Disturbing details. And that's why I said I'm not laughing at the wickedness they do, because this is honestly a shame. But the Edomites, they laughing, they smiling at what they do, at their behavior. She look like she belong on a horror movie. That's what she look like. I don't even know her name. I just called her Gertrude because I didn't even find her name. Well, it had her name in here, but I didn't care to even read it. It says an absolutely despicable story out of Florida has emerged about a grandma or grandmother being one of 4 people accused of giving a meth-laced sippy cup to a 1-year-old toddler and then refusing to call an ambulance in a case that is shocking everyone involved. Everybody, in a case that is shocking everybody involved. According to multiple media reports on Monday, Judith Winhan Addison, which is the woman above, which I called her Gertrude, is the 79-year-old grandma accused of the shocking charges. She has since been booked in Nassau County Jail in the city of Callahan, Florida, on child neglect and causing serious bodily injury. And obviously her mugshot is the talk of the town, but the specifics of the charges involved are what's even more shocking. She's not the only one booked into the jail on the charges either. Per the U.S. Sun and the New York Post, 3 other people, Hayden Simmons, Damian Wilhelm, and Erica Foley, were also arrested on the same charges and booked into the jail last week as well. All 4 apparently live at the same home in Callahan, along with the 1-year-old at the center of this terrible story. Per law enforcement, the toddler allegedly drank from a sippy cup that was later discovered to contain a bag of meth. And it said, that's right, there was reportedly a bag of meth inside the toddler's sippy cup as the child drank. But things got worse very quickly, because either after realizing the toddler had done that, the 4 accused people did nothing. Literally nothing. Nobody called 911. Nobody took the child to the hospital. Nothing. The next day, the child began vomiting, and that is when his mother rushed the baby to a nearby fire station. The toddler was quickly admitted to a local hospital on treatment of a suspected overdose. Cops began to investigate from there, and per a search warrant obtained by multiple media outlets, they obtained several things at the residence, including drug paraphernalia, like gas pipes and containers with meth residue. The 4 adults in question, including the grinning granny, were arrested and charged with crimes a couple days later. So, as you can see, these Edomites are going outside. They don't have no shame. No shame. Motherfuckers smiling. No shame whatsoever. Like I said, look, they smiling, I'm laughing. And I think this is the last one. It's the last one. It says notorious pedophile told parole board he lusted after 8-year-old girl as recently as 2021, but they still tried to free him. A notorious P, which I shouldn't have said the word, told the California parole board he lusted after children as recently as 2021, but they still tried to release him early. It says court transcripts from a September hearing show serial child Mo Esther David Allen Funston said that in 2021 he was still fantasizing over an 8-year-old friend of his daughter's. The vile predator even went into detail about the way he would pleasure himself behind bars while thinking about her, adding, there's always a possibility that I'll relapse. This is published March 3rd, 2026, and this is his picture. Motherfucker smiling. Motherfucker, dude, they don't have no shame. It said he was convicted in 1991 in Sacramento County of 16 counts of kidnapping and child molestation. So these Edomites have no shame. That motherfucker smiling. And he said, look, he think about him. He said he get off to it. You know, these Edomites are going out sad, man. But look, these are really, this has always been in their nature, but you in your kingdom, you at the top, you know, and this is what you do. This is what you do. But as the title goes, he is a big time loser in his own kingdom. And I'm gonna end it on the scripture I always get, Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And we seeing this, you know, we seeing the Lord put the curses on these Edomites. So, hey, it's beautiful to see the downfall of your enemy. But on that note, I want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. And until next time, shalom.